the NFL draft has come and gone. The Steelers definitely improved. I think a lot of people are giving them A's. I mean, our Nick Martin talked about how great of a draft class this is. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, his only poor grade for the Steelers was Roman Wilson. I think he gave him a C plus for Roman Wilson just because he said, like, hey, look, they got a lot of slot guys. They don't really need another one. I got the logic, even if I don't agree with it. Where is their biggest hole? You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers right now and where they stand. I get it. They added a wide receiver, but maybe they need another one. They added a corner. They added 2 corners, but maybe they need another one. When you look at this roster, where is their biggest hole post NFL draft?
Yeah, I really think it's at that receiver spot. I kind of do agree with Nick to a certain extent. Like they need an outside guy, and they need a guy who can be a real threat next season, like immediately. He has to be able to complement George Pickens. He has to be able to make plays, and I don't see that guy on the roster right now. Even with Wilson in there, I still think Wilson, he's got some versatility, but I really do think that he is best as a slot guy. I think that's the best way to use him. So I think the Steelers can really only make the most out of this offense if they get a guy who can play on the outside, a guy, like I said, can contribute right away. It can't just kind of be a depth piece. It can't be, a special team or anything like that. It's got to be a guy who is, I think the word thrown around earlier in the offseason was a proven wide receiver. I think that's exactly what you're looking for, someone who has been there and done that. And it doesn't seem like the Steelers have a guy like that. And it does kind of concern me, I think, at this point in the year. I mean, it doesn't seem like the trade market is particularly robust. The free agents, not really existent very much at this point. It's going to take some pretty hard work to get that guy for the Steelers.
Yeah, I agree that I think it's I'm not going to say I think it's wide receiver. I'm going to go a different route here, but I agree with what you're saying because I think it's one of their biggest needs. Easy is I see Roman Wilson as a starter, but you're going to bank on a 3rd round guy and George Pickens being your go-tos, and then Calvin Austin, which I expect a year out of Calvin Austin. I expect Calvin Austin to improve. I've been saying that for weeks now. I just expect a better offensive coordinator, a better game plan for his skill set. I mean, you go back last year, I was joking about this with you walking out of the NFL draft. You go back last year and you look at tape of Calvin Austin, like the dude's run blocking, and he's 5'3", 160 pounds, and they're like, you know what you should go do? Hit a linebacker. That would be the way to go about this. I don't know what Matt Canada was thinking. I don't think he'd ever even try to do that in Arthur Smith's offense, and I think they'll utilize him better. I think it comes down to like your faith in George Pickens. Is George Pickens a true number 1? And I don't think that he is yet. I think he could be there by the end of the season. I think he could be there at the start of the season. But right now, what we've seen, I don't know if that's the case. And you're going to bank on Roman Wilson being a good enough number 2 to have 2 number 2s as your starters. And then like a shot in the dark as a number 3. I agree. I think it's a massive hole. I don't know how you go about filling it. Maybe you go wide receiver trade, and we're gonna talk about that next because I think Omar Khan kind of gave us a hint of what's coming for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, this is a public service announcement, and it is urgent. You think that you have mastered the look in sweatpants and joggers? Well, guess what, my friend? You have not. You are one step away from wearing pajamas in public, and your significant other is starting to think that you look like a slob. It's time to take your sexy ass and put it in some jeans. If you take anything away from today's show, it's that the perfect jean isn't just another pair of stiff, uncomfortable, nut-crushing pants. They have cracked the code on solving your denim difficulties, and it is time to rejoice. Check them out. Always looking good. The Perfect Jean makes great looking, perfect fitting jeans that are as comfortable as sweatpants and more stretchy than a kangaroo's pouch. It's made from a special denim fabric that's super soft, just like sweatpants, just like joggers, but it doesn't make you look like a slob. And the best part, they make 6 fits from skinny to thick. Waist sizes from 26 to 50 and lengths from 26 to 38. So whether you are a thick guy or a short king, or guess what, anything in between, they perfectly fit your body and accentuate your assets. Pun intended. Trust us when we say that these are truly fucking perfect jeans. Once you try them on, you'll never go back. Once again, boom. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc, or just Google The Perfect Jean and use our code ALLSteelers15 for 15% off. Look it. I have been looking for a while. I have been talking to my fiance daily. I need to find a look. I've tried them all. I tried khakis. I tried joggers. I tried sweatpants. I tried shorts. Nothing fits me like the perfect jeans fit me. The perfect jean doesn't just stop there, though. They've revolutionized t-shirts as well. The perfect tee has just enough stretch to hide the beer belly while accentuating your arms and chest for that flawless look. It's soft like butter without shrinking in the wash like all your other t-shirts. It's just, no, well, perfect. The perfect jean always has free shipping, always has free exchanges, and always has free returns. So you can have peace of mind knowing that your order is completely risk-free. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use our code ALLSteelers15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code ALLSteelers15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please, please, please give us some support and tell them that we sent you. Fuck your khakis and get the perfect jean. I'm going to go the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going to say corner. Just because, I mean, you look at this and you say Beanie Bishop's awesome, and I have a lot of high expectations for Beanie Bishop. Even if Beanie Bishop was drafted, even if they took him in the 6th round, I'm not looking at a 6th round pick as a guy who's going to come in here and supposed to solve the Steelers' cornerback issues. You know, like that's just banking on way too much for a guy that we have no idea what's going on. I could see them still kind of looking at names like Chandon Sullivan and Patrick Peterson just because they need somebody. I could see them, you know, walking into OTAs and we see a little Deshaun Elliott or DeMonte KZ playing the safety role. I have no idea what to expect. But I think that the way I look at corner right now is you still don't have a slot guy. You have options, and I think that's a good thing to have options and to give yourself more options, but there's nobody proven there to say this is an immediate, we have faith in this guy option for the Steelers right now. And I think that that's a massive hole in a league that is almost exclusively a passing league, and in a conference where you're going to go up against the Jamar Chases and Amari Coopers who play inside and outside, and you're going to find yourself facing guys that, like, you can't send Joey Porter Jr. inside and expect him to guard a Zay Flowers all the time and not get burnt once in a while against these teams.
Yeah, so I think I agree with you. I think that all makes a ton of sense, and I think you're spot on. I don't know if the Steelers see it that way, to be quite honest with you. I think judging from the way that they went about this draft, and I think, you know, the McCormick pick kind of illustrates this. I think the Logan Lee pick kind of illustrated it a little bit further. I mean, even the Peyton Wilson one, I think to a certain extent, like, they didn't pick up corners in this draft. And I think, I don't know, right or wrong, I think they are looking at Dante Jackson, Beanie Bishop, and Joey Porter Jr. as a perfectly fine trio of starting guys between two outside spots and a slot. I don't know if they're looking to add more to this cornerback room at this point. So that would be the only reason why I say, I mean, it can look like a huge need for the Steelers. I just don't know if they see it that way.
I can't disagree with you that way or with that. I think that they kind of showed their hand a little bit. And I think what's cool about that is it was very clear this past weekend that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going back to Pittsburgh Steelers football. You know, they're done playing around. They're done trying to be a team that's trying to chase the Kansas City Chiefs. They're just, hey, everybody else is zigging. We're going to zag. We're going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going to be hard-nosed football. And the Pittsburgh Steelers win up front always. That's always how they've won on both sides of the football. And they kind of showed, like, hey, this is how we're going to do it. You know, last year our up front looked really good outside of inside linebackers. Okay, let's go get a couple of inside linebackers. Let's make that work. You know, we got another corner. Awesome. We're good on corner. I agree with you. I think that the way that they showcased is that we're going back to old school football. I mean, that's why I wore the Jaylen Warren shirt today, because I feel like if anybody was going to be happy about this weekend, it's Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. They got to be pumped about where the Pittsburgh Steelers are right now. I think it could work. Like, as crazy as it sounds, like, you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and everybody's going to say, like, oh, but they, like, what are they going to do? Run the football on every play? Hopefully, Like, hopefully that's exactly what they do. Hopefully the time of possession for the Pittsburgh Steelers is twice as long as the other teams. Hopefully they end up with, a rushing defense that is first in the NFL and 25 plus sacks on the season because, or 35, 40 sacks on the season because that's what they've built themselves to do. Like, that's how they're going to win. And I think that is a great idea. Stop trying to beat these teams the way these other teams play and just be the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's worked in the past, and I don't care how much football's evolved. I think it could work now.